What's the old saying, y'all? I think it's politics makes for strange bedfellows. And that is exactly right. This is a classic case of that. So here we go. Let me show you. This is from the NRA, National Rifle Association. They said the following: the NRA supports the Second Amendment rights of all law-abiding Americans to purchase, possess, and use firearms. The NRA does not and will not support any policy proposals that implement sweeping gun bans that arbitrarily strip law-abiding citizens of their Second Amendment rights without due process. So what is this in reference to? Well, the Department of Justice was openly saying, we are looking for legal ways to ban all trans people from owning guns. Why? Because there was just a shooting where it was a trans person who did it, but they also happen to be a far-right Nazi. Apparently the far-right Nazi part, they left out of their consideration of who should we ban from getting guns, but they went right to the trans part. That is disgusting. It's disgusting. So we finally found one kind of gun reform that the far right and the Trump regime can support. Well, I guess Trump did ban bump stocks in his first term. It was when he was less insane than he is now. But trans people are on the chopping block. And, you know, I said this the other day, but if there was ever a group of people where I would say, look, they probably should own a gun, it would be trans people. Because this far right fascist regime, at the top of the list of public enemies of MAGA, it would be trans people and immigrants. They are the ones who get the blame for fucking everything. And we've already seen laws implemented to try to roll back their rights, make it harder for them to get the health care that they need. In Texas, they were proposing a bill to ban trans people from changing their gender on the driver's license. And if indeed they did do that, it would be viewed as criminal fraud and you would get locked up for it. So they always pretended, the right did, like, oh, we just care about the children. This is just about protecting the children. Then immediately they moved the goalposts and it was like, let's just ban being trans. Let's just do that. Nobody should be allowed to be trans because it's degeneracy, it's wrong, et cetera, et cetera. Well, now they're trying to come for the rights of trans people. Now, by the way, I should also point out while we're on the conversation, I looked it up. I did some research to try to figure out, because they say, oh, there were 2 trans shooters, and that's enough of a pattern for them to say, well, we should just ban all trans people from being able to get guns. Ready for this? Here's the breakdown of the demographic breakdown, I should say, of who does mass shootings. Ready? First of all, it is 97.7% male. They're about 50% of the population. They are 98% of the mass shooters. See where I'm going with this? Should we ban all the men from having guns? Because I'll tell you what, if you really wanted to make a difference, we know how. That's one. Okay, then we have, they're 55% white, 20% black, 9% Latino, 7% Asian. For the mass shooters, they're an average of 34 years old. For school shootings in particular, that drops to early 20s. Only 11% of mass shooters have documented mental illness. 75% of mass shooters legally got the weapons. And here's what we know. Only 2% of 173 mass shootings were done by trans people. Now, having said that, the real percentage is actually way lower, the real percentage of trans mass shooters, because we've had 5,783 mass shootings from 2013 until 2025, and that's defined as at least 4 people being shot. So if you crunch the numbers on that, what is it, 3, 4 mass shooters in total, and out of 5,783 for that time period, I mean, you're looking at like 0.0000 something, 1%, 4%, whatever, and that's less than the actual rate of trans people in the country. So even per capita, they do shootings way less than other groups. And look, let's be honest. If I tell you, oh, there was a school shooting, what pops into your mind first? What does the person look like if I say that? I think it's the classic, like, disaffected young white guy, right? Super pasty skin, skinny, like, you know exactly, like the Adam Lanza type. You know what I'm saying? So, but nobody ever said, hey, we got to ban white men from having guns, nor would anybody pretend like that's fucking remotely constitutional. When it comes to trans people, they do it immediately. Why? Because that's what happens. When you're the dominant group in society, you get the benefit of being viewed as an individual. So I'm not responsible for what all white men do. Nobody came after me because Adam Lanza did a mass shooting, right? Nobody made that connection. But if you're trans, somehow, because you're not in the dominant power position in society, it's viewed as, well, you know, you're sort of a representative of all trans people, and what one trans person does reflects on all the trans people because there's not that many of you. So if one of them is violent, well, I guess my default perspective is all you motherfuckers are violent, right? And it's fucked up. And this is the rarest of rare NRA W's. Rarest of rare. Because I don't know, man. You guys tell me, but I thought they would go as far as to say, like, you know, even people with a history of violence, they should still be able to get guns. Like, I know that they're against red flag laws. That's crazy to me. If somebody posts, like, I'm about to shoot up the school, you can't legally go take their guns. That's crazy. So they've never met a gun reform that they liked. They wanted as much wild west as possible. They'd probably argue for somebody's right to have a fucking nuclear weapon, an individual's right to own a nuclear weapon. So they're kind of crazy. But at least that consistency in this one instance stumbled on the right position where it would be insane to say all trans people can't have guns because of 2 trans mass shooters. There's this bullshit talking point going on. Did you guys see this? Some right-wingers are saying 6 of the last 7 mass shooters were trans. That is utterly fucking made up. It's amazing. You can post any bullshit on social media and the right-wingers will fucking gobble it up. But that's obviously not true. But anyway, rare NRAW. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.